Hello. All right. We're going to give people a little bit of time to get in. Welcome to Marriage Monday. Welcome.
Hello. I was going to say good morning. Good evening. Well, one person popped in already.
Awesome.
Hi, let us know who you are, please. You can type in.
You want to share it to your page?
Go to my page. We're giving everybody a few minutes to get here because we left a message on Facebook to say we're not going to be there. We're going to be here.
Yep. Only on YouTube from here on out. Only on the YouTube.
Where am I? This?
Sure. Not sharing anywhere else.
So it's gonna be going on here like that.
No.
That just shares the link.
Yep, here's the link. People at the other places to come on over to the YouTube channel. This is the only place we're gonna be. Hey, this one person who's on there, if you can hear us, let us know. Testing. You know what? I can test that myself. Because I don't see the microphone meter moving. So.
That's not.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep, it's working. Hello. Yep, it's working. All right.
Where am I saying this?
What do you mean?
Like,
wait for you to share it. They open it just comes
up. It just takes them here.
It opens up a tab.
How did you do that just then? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
You didn't. You're on with it.
Hi, it's 9:06. We want to give time for people to get going.
So as you come on, let us know who you are and where you are. Who you are and where you
are. Everyone had a wonderful day. The two that I see that popped up.
And if you're watching this on Memorex, might want to skip to about 5 minutes.
What does that mean?
Like if somebody's watching it tomorrow. Oh. I like you don't remember what Memorex is. Those were the cassette tapes.
What's that? No Memorex. But I didn't know. What you were saying, was that I don't know.
So tonight we're going to be talking about, before we get there, let's go ahead and do some preliminary things while we're getting people on, getting ready for people. Of course, we're always wearing our shirts. Mine says the captain. Hers says the mermaid. Captain got a catcher and mermaid. And of course, behind us, we have our chorus of 3 strings. Strands are not easy. I know reading it backwards kind of thing. 3 strands is not easily broken. That comes from Ecclesiastes 4:12. That's some good wisdom, regardless of what your spiritual background is. That's just good wisdom, period. You got to have the 2 of you plus the spiritual in order to make it work. And when you baptize it with some water, you can unravel that rope. So as we get ready, guys, we're getting closer and closer. We're actually getting ready to close out the date for people to RSVP for Tag Team Wedding. Go to tagteamwedding.com. We are finalizing the menu with Wolfgang Puck and his staff as far as what the menu is going to be. I mean, I'm excited about that menu, y'all. I don't even really eat meat, but I'm excited about that menu. Some of the things that was on there, I was like, man. And so that's going to be a great evening with the hors d'oeuvres, the salad, the soup. Well, I don't know if there's soup, but the salads and then the main course and and the dessert, not just our cake, but also the dessert from Wolfgang Puck. It's gonna be awesome at the Georgia Aquarium. I want you guys to be there. So go to tagteamwedding.com and RSVP. RSVP. All right. So tonight our subject matter is: can you regain trust after it has been lost? Can you regain trust after it's been lost? That's the subject matter. And, please chime in. We look forward to your commentary throughout this live event. But so trust is one of those hard things to deal with. It's an amazing thing. When you're young, when you're born into the world, you trust your parents, trust the people around you, you trust everything. You don't even really have a concept of not trusting. It's just something you do. And when you start having relationships, you come into it and you normally trust the people that they're going to be uphold their word, uphold the commitment to which that they have engaged with you in. But we have a lot of things throughout our time frame that it destroys that trust or mess it up. And of course, most of the time when people think about this, they go right to the basic things that destroys trust. Husband and wife get together, one spouse cheats on the other spouse with another person, trust is broken. One spouse steals money or misplaced money, mishandles money, trust is broken. So trust is in a whole lot of different areas. The way the kids are raised, it could be broken. The way that a spouse is physically abusive to a spouse, the trust is broken. There's so many different ways, lying, getting caught in lie after lie after lie, trust becomes broken. Making the other person mentally feel bad or emotionally feel a certain way out of spite or vengeance or anything of that nature, the trust becomes broken. And the trust is on many different levels. It's not just intimacy trust, but it's trust in communication, trust in with the high emotional things, things you've been through. And then there's that trust of just people, period. There are many people. I'm 49, my baby is 40, and
48.
The thing about it is,
I don't have a problem with
it. We've had relationships. We've had plenty of relationships. We've been married a couple times, and we carry those that baggage with us often, and we walk into a situation not trusting. We carry lessons we've learned from our parents and our culture and our spirituality and our governments and all these other different surrounding things, because 75% of who you are is based on your environment and your experiences. And so that creates a whole nother level of trust. How do we overcome that? It is not the easiest thing to do. It's very simple in its statement, in its solution, but it's incredibly difficult to obtain. Right. So, but as for me not to hog the whole thing, you have anything to add to the beginning portions here?
I mean, you're fine. You're hitting all those points.
So
a lot of them.
We can, we talked about these individually. They all have different pathways, but the remedies are still the same. And it depends on what side you're on as to whether or not you can regain trust. And this part of this comes from the Zoom that some of you guys were on last night. Some of you guys did not get on the Zoom last night, but some of this comes from a question that was posed during the Zoom and thoughts during the Zoom last night. The answer, very simple. The person who betrayed the other person, it is upon them to regain that trust. If you're in that situation, so it's two different situations that we got to talk about in this. If you are the perpetrator that created the mistrust, or if you walked into a situation where the person already had built-in mistrust and now you are receiving it and you haven't done anything, how do we overcome these two situations? Because that's what we primarily will find ourselves in. So first, the easy one. You created the mistrust. You did it. You got caught in lie after lie. You mismanaged the money. You went out and slept with another man, another woman. You did the dirt, right? So now it is incumbent upon you to win the trust back. So you got to win the trust back at this point, right? So yeah, if you really want to, and first let's say this: you got to decide if you're going to be in a relationship or not.
Right. I was just
Go ahead.
thinking
Let's say that.
you first have to make a decision if you want to maintain this relationship, because people do different things for different reasons. You could have been unfaithful because there was something missing, something lacking. Not saying it's ever an excuse to cheat. The point of not cheating is to face what's going on and to talk about it and deal with it and try to give that other person an opportunity to do better, and to even understand and know that you have these feelings, because some people don't, they may not know, what you are feeling. But first of all, you have to, you got to say, okay, I want this, I want to be in this relationship. So I don't want to have someone fighting and hurting and expecting me to rebuild and regain trust when I really don't even want to be here. So I mean that's the thought that came to me when you were saying that. You have to even want to be there. So make a decision first to say, do I want to still be here? And we're talking about the person who broke the trust. You gotta understand and know if you still want to maintain in the relationship, because it was you that broke the trust in the first place. And why did you do it? And why
I'm
did
trying
you
to figure
do it?
something out real quick.
Okay. So it was you that broke the trust in the first place. Understanding why you did it, knowing why you did it, and being honest about that. If it comes down to saying, hey, I just don't want to be with you anymore, it's better to be honest than to drag a person through something, heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak, when you know you actually don't want to be there. So first face the thought process, go through the thought process of if I even want to be in this relationship anymore. Um,
Hold on, a little break here. If you are watching this on the links that we sent through to YouTube, I mean to Facebook or my other YouTube channels, if you're watching this through those links, but have a comment that you want to make or a question, you cannot do it through those links. You have to go to the Tag Team Marriage YouTube channel and watch on there on your YouTube app and watch there in order to comment. Because I was just looking to see if I can make a comment from the Facebook, from the M, which is the mobile YouTube deal. And unless y'all know something that I don't know, it's not letting me do it. So I just want you guys, so if you got something to say, you want to add to it, do that, please.
All right.
Because, yeah, there's no way to, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so please just come on over to the tag team. Just come on over to the tag team tag team marriage page on Facebook. Yeah. You can click the link
on YouTube.
You can click the link, but if you want to comment and be a part of the conversation, you have to come here. To the page.
Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna be able to comment. Your YouTube and then type in tag team marriage and be able to log on that way. But so go ahead, baby.
Okay. So no, we were talking about the fact of making a decision to even want to still be in the relationship. Whether you cheated, whether you took money and allocated it somewhere different than what you all agreed with, or what's going to be productive for the household, stole money from one another, from the other person. You have to make a decision like, why did I do this? Why am I even here at this point? Do I even want to still maintain this relationship? And then the other person has the same rights as well. They get to decide and determine if they want to remain, if they want to maintain or give it that chance to be able to rebuild. Because once trust is broken, that's hard.
Yep.
That is one of the hardest things in life. And I dare say that it never really fully comes back. Like there's always something, whether you're gonna allow the relationship to go on and you're gonna work beyond those some things, um, it's still that small thing there that that breaks down the relationship, because breaking trust just breaks down the relationship. So when that happens, um, that's a hard thing to regain. Trust is a hard thing to regain.
And I'm glad that baby said that that both persons have to decide whether or not they want to be in this relationship. Because if you're the person who the trust was broken, you have to decide, am I only staying in this relationship because I want to pay them back? I want them to feel my pain. I want to hurt them. I
Mm-hmm.
want them to feel exactly the way I felt. If vengeance is your reason, then really the main person you're harming is yourself. With all that anger and frustration, you're going to now go through this process of having to let go of your morals to hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's I'm punishing you by nagging at you, by saying stuff to you all the time, I'm punishing you by making you grovel, I'm punishing you by going out and doing the exact same thing to you. You're basically saying, I'm going to set my morals aside just so that I can hurt you. And if that's the case, you're just really hurting yourself, because for that time frame, you are dishonoring who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no time frame that you should ever dishonor who you are. So if you're going to stay in the relationship, you also have to decide that you are there to make it work. And like Babe said, it's hard because you carry that thing, but you have to get to a point progressively where you let it go. Where if the person is doing what's necessary to win that trust back, for instance, if they stole money, if they mishandled the money, but now they are accounting for every penny. They are making sure you have weekly reports, daily reports, monthly reports, whatever kind of reports need to be until you gain that trust back with them, because you can't have them in this holding pattern where that becomes the new norm.
Right.
Because if that becomes the new norm, you're going to create resentment on the other side, because then it's like, I'm doing, but where's the victory?
Mm-hmm.
There is no victory at that. So you have to be open to actually coming to a point where you say, you don't have to give me this weekly report anymore. I trust you. You don't have to, do whatever it is. I trust you. You got to get to that point where you can legit say, I trust you, and not throw it back on them, because they are and will do some things that will look like a duck. It will, it'll sound like a duck, but it's a chicken. Okay. It may look like it, may sound like it, may walk like it, may even, and it got feathers, but it's not it. That's not it. And you have to be able to get to the point where you can recognize that and say that, you know what, I know what I'm seeing looks similar, but because they have proven themselves, I'm not going to automatically jump back to that aspect of them. Let's take the biggest one. Well, one of the main ones that most people wind up doing, and that's infidelity. Mm-hmm. Right? So, person commits infidelity. You know, person commits infidelity. In the infidelity, they work long hours, right? And they was using those long hours to go sleep with Betsy Sue, right? Gonna make it a man. Man, he's sleeping with Betsy Sue. Betsy Sue. He's sleeping with Betsy Sue, right? Now he been working long hours. He been telling you, I'm working on this project. I got this, I got that. It's hard. I'm working, I'm working, I'm working. But then you find out he was sleeping with Betsy Sue. So then he's all remorseful. He's apologetic. He's like, oh my, I risked my family, my marriage for 10 minutes of Betsy Sue, right? And he wants the relationship. You want to forgive. Well, now he goes through the process trying to win you back. He goes to work. He's at work. You talk to him at lunch. You talk to him throughout the day sometimes. And when it's time for him to get out of work, hey, it's 6 o'clock. I'm coming home. I'm on my way home. Lets you know that he's on his way home. He gets home. He ain't been doing no late nights. Then, but he works with somebody. So sometimes then all of a sudden the project comes. and he working the late nights. You still don't trust him yet, but he working the late nights, and he's telling you, "I'm at work," and he shows you. I don't know. He video chats you to show I'm at work, right? It and yeah, and he do it in a slick way, but like, yeah, me and Todd is over here. We at work, right? Does the whole thing. Come home, you're sniffing all around, see if he smell like Betsy Sue, if he smell like he took a shower or whatever, and he tolerate. He ain't gonna say, yeah, no, he's tolerating it because he really don't want to feel that way, but he knows he's doing it because he's winning back the trust. And this goes on for say a year, right? And then I don't know, however long it takes, a year, 2 years, and then you say that you trust him. But then now he's at work and you're starting to relax a little bit. He ain't got to call you all the time. You ain't got to call him. You ain't got to track him. He ain't got to be like, like you I Spy, and put a little homing device on, right? And he's at work and he's working. And he just shows up at the door. He didn't call you to say that, hey, I'm on my way home. Now, all that come back, resurgent. You was out with Bessie Mae this time. Bessie Sue got fired. She don't even work that much. She moved to a whole nother city. Because ain't nobody listening to this name. Bessie Sue, Bessie Mae.
Oh, okay. You being safe. Okay, go ahead.
So then he's like, I was at work. He's telling you he was at work. I don't know, somehow, whatever way he can prove to you he was at work, he was at work. But you had your relapse. That's cool. That's understandable. So then you go on some more time. And then another, say, 6 months go by and anything happened. I don't know. He at work. They hired a new secretary or a new woman come to work there. She hot and she worked there. And all of a sudden, you mad. You pissed. But you taking it out on him. This man is going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home. But you asking all these 50-11 questions. Then the boss say, her name Mary Sue. I need you to work with Mary Sue on this project. And he come home. He don't lie. He tell you, boss man want me to work with Mary Sue on this project. Your feelings gonna feel some kind of way. But that's where are you gonna tell the man quit your job? You gonna tell him he can't do it? This man is not gonna go back to that job and say, well, sir, I would love to work with what's her name? Mary Sue. But because of this issue that I had, and he say he honest, because of this issue I had with my wife before, I can't work with Mary Sue because she's too good looking of a woman. You ain't gonna have no respect for that man. You might be happy at that moment that he went and did that, but truth be told, you would lose respect for that man. You ain't gonna admit it, but you would, because he's just a punk.
Another level of respect.
Huh?
Another level of respect.
No, I don't even think that's a level of respect.
I said you said you would lose respect. The respect has already been lost.
Right. Oh yeah. Obviously,
so there's another level.
Yeah, you done lost respect for his man.
And again, that's so hard because there's so many different dynamics to what he just said. There's so many different dynamics to it.
Oh wait, before you say that, let me say this. And here's the thing: if that happened, and you said, "Well, I don't," because I know some of y'all out there right now, you saying, "Well, you know what? I just won't even deal with him. I'd rather just start brand new with somebody else." But guess what? As soon as you go off and then you start dating, Todd Jenkins, and then Todd Jenkins tell you that he got to work late, or they hire some good-looking woman, you're gonna treat Todd the same way. Todd Jenkins, TJ, gonna get treated the exact same way that you treated your previous, because you have not solved that issue within yourself.
So the question is, how do you solve that issue? How do you regain that trust? How do you get to the point where you have peace with the thought of he's at work and I'm just not going to be concerned, or she's at work and I can't be concerned? And the truth of the matter is, you can't make someone do something. And if you make a decision to stay, if you make a decision to forgive them, you yourself now is your obligation to help yourself build up and say to yourself, okay, you know what? I decided to stay. He cheated, she cheated. They apologized. I decided to stay. So now I have to work even harder to make sure I don't drive myself crazy. Because that's driving yourself crazy. Because he may be, he may not be. But the thing about it is, you don't know. Like all you can do is trust. That's all you have. That is all you have.
That's what I was saying. The answer is actually really simple.
The answer is simple.
You just
It's
have
just the
to trust.
path to getting there that's hard. Because you have all these, he or she has taken you through all these emotions, um finding out they cheated, then trying to decide if I'm going to stay, and how I'm going to stay, and how am I going to feel, and then work through all the emotions that come with it. And let me say this: if you are a person that has broken the trust of another, um you have to humble yourself and understand and know that I did this, I caused this issue. So I can't complain every time they have a relapse or a moment, um, that they struggle. You have to understand that you did this. You were the cause of them feeling the way that they do, and give them time, by you doing what you're supposed to do. If you really want to be there, give them time to adjust and come back to where they can trust you and they can feel comfortable, and not drive themselves crazy. Not drive themselves crazy. Um,
How you doing, Louis?
Not drive themselves crazy with trying to just figure out what you're doing. You have to do your part. And your part is going to be so, so, so much more than theirs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much more
Actually, the
than
person who you got more work to do.
theirs.
You have way more work to do. And the thing about it is, I mean, if you decide that you're gonna stay in a relationship with a person who's broken your trust, it's a daily decision. It's a daily, moment to moment decision. It's
Mm-hmm.
that decision that makes you say, okay, if I do this, is it going to be a good outcome? If I go through his or her phone, is there going to be a good outcome? If I just show up at their job, I mean, I know we've seen that in movies and stuff, but people actually do that. I've seen that. I had a Marine wife just showed up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she just show up. Is that going to work? I literally had one just show up in Spain when they knew the ship ported in Spain. You know,
Yeah,
and
she was
she went
going
to
crazy the whole
she went
time.
to every duty station. I mean, every port of call that she could go to, other than the ones in Desert Storm, she was there. So, and it wasn't cute at all
Yeah, and
because she was there mad.
the thing about that
Right,
is, what do you expect to catch
right,
during those moments?
and
So you have to get to a point where you're going to make a decision that I'm going to stay, and I'm going to allow this to rebuild. I'm going to allow this trust to build back, because her showing up, it's not like she was going to catch him with somebody coming to port.
right,
Like y'all coming in, like who gonna be on the ship? Ain't no.
right. But see, she heard about, when we get off the boat, we go into the town. The ladies just on the pier waiting on us.
Mm-hmm.
You get out them boats on the pier, ain't nobody waiting on you on the pier.
Right,
Ain't
right,
nobody there.
right.
You got to go into town. Right.
So, so Harris, thank you. Hearns,
Hearns.
I'm seeing,
Hearns.
I'm seeing like it's
Hearns
blended
Pierre
together.
Louis.
Hearns, thank you, Hearns.
You gotta
Her,
say it. Hearns. Hearns Pierre Louis.
okay. So first, say her. Hello, Hearns.
Hello, Hearns Pierre Louis.
And it says yes, you can, but it's going to be harder than the usual.
Right.
Very hard, Hearns. And I've been through it. I actually caught her. Wow, yes. So Hearns, what did you decide? Because you said you went through it. Did y'all decide to stay together? Um, that's a good direction to go from, because that's what we're talking about. When you make the decision, if you make the decision to stay. So did you make the decision to stay? And then of course I have another question after that,
Right.
based on your answer. Uh After 3 times, no.
Oh,
I do not blame you.
yeah.
After 3 times,
Yeah.
no. At that point, you have to. That's self-love.
And that
That's self-love.
goes into the idea that is the person truly remorseful,
Right.
you know, because like I've had it happen to me 3 times, 3 separate times in my life, and where a woman cheated on me. And yeah, I was really young the first 2 times, but it's still the pain is still the pain, right? The first time she just kept doing the same stuff she had been doing, you know, want to keep trying to hang around the guy that she cheated on with. Okay, you can't do that.
Yeah.
The second time, the person legit tried to change their behavior. They changed their behavior, changed where they live, changed a whole bunch of stuff. So that one still took me a while to get to a point of trust, but really what got me to the point of trust wasn't what she did. I mean, her changing helped, but at the end of the day, 3 different occasions over 8 years, I had to change how I was acting because I was trying to track the person. I was trying to watch the person. It got to the point where I was hiding in leaves, looking at buildings, doing I Spy stuff. And I had to look at myself, and I was like, "This is ridiculous. I am not going to live my life like this." So you know what I wound up having to do? And this is one of the things you have to do: recognize, like you were saying earlier, you can't control nobody. You can't control what another person is going to do. You can only control how much you allow them to do stuff to you, but you can't control their actions. If they're going to continue to do whatever, then either move on or accept it. But if they want to fix it, then be there to fix it. If you choose to be there.
Right. So he said 3 times with the same person.
He said
so he stayed because of his daughter at the time, but he had to go. That's understandable. People do that. Some people say, you know what, we have children involved.
Right.
But then, and not particular to you, Hearns, but just based on this subject, based on this point, sometimes it destroys the children.
Right.
As well. And while you think you're doing a justice to the children, you're doing an injustice because they're learning unhealthy habits. They're learning unhealthy ways to handle relationships and issues. So, if you're in that position, you have to look at that as well. Is it healthy to stay for the children?
And like you said, I've learned never to do it for the kids because that's damage to the children.
Yeah, as much as you allow. Yeah, I learned. Right. Trust comes in all aspects. Right, right. And Kwame said, absolutely correct. You can only control yourself and your response to things. Exactly. Because, again, when we're talking about cheating, the person has to realize why they did it.
Right.
Why they did it. And if they really want to make amends and make a change, they're going to tell you. Y'all have to have that discussion. This is why I did this. I was feeling a lack of, or I was feeling a certain way, or there were things that I needed from you that I didn't get. And yeah, I mean, it could come down to that. They just haven't learned to help them in that relationship. Yeah. But whatever the reason, if there's a determination to stay, you have to
own up to your part.
You gotta own up. You gotta face whatever it is and then make a decision to move. It's like with an alcoholic. Until you admit that you're an alcoholic and you need to change, you're gonna keep going back. So own up to it, talk about it, and give that fair chance to make a decision. Mm-hmm. But Hearns, I'm sorry that happened. I'm sure that was a treacherous 8 years.
Yeah.
It probably, it had its good times and its bad, but when it's good, it's good.
But every time there were things that were suspect, I'm pretty sure you was like going out your head.
Right. Right.
But it's good to realize that you got to get to a point where you have to take care of your own self. Your own personal, mental, and emotional health is vital.
It's so much important.
Because without that, you're no good to anybody. Right? Mm-hmm. You're no good to yourself. You're no good to your kids. You're no good to your family, your friends. You're just no good to anybody. Right. And I'm glad he said I'm good and remarried. And that's awesome that you are.
So, let me ask you, because we like to be transparent and we like to be helpful or whatever. How easy was it, or how hard was it? Difficult was it for you to go into another marriage?
And that's a good transition into when the other person is not the one who cheated on you or broke the trust,
but they're dealing with your mistrust.
But you're right, you still come in and you don't trust that person, and they didn't do anything.
So, what was the process, Hearns? How difficult or easy was it to go into another marriage
and trust
and trust her?
If you did,
right, and then we can go with the other person having to deal with that, because that's another side of it we want to speak on as well. So if you don't mind sharing, if you rather not, we understand, because you shared a lot and we appreciate it.
Right.
But if you don't mind sharing, how easy or hard, or how easy or difficult was it to go into another marriage, to trust another person? Because 8 years is a long time.
Right.
8 years is a long time. So while we're waiting okay, I had to go to therapy. Most definitely. Beautiful answer.
And the fact of the matter is, most people do not go to therapy.
Most people do not.
Most people don't go.
They take that baggage and they move it over to the next relationship. So did you go to therapy after or before you decided to remarry? Because and while we're waiting, premarital counseling can be so vital and crucial to a relationship. Before I decided to go into another relationship, way before. Wonderful. Self-care. So you realize that you had to do some things so you could be healthy for you, so you can be healthy for someone else.
And that is like a super mature thing to do.
Yeah.
That most people don't do regardless of age.
Yeah.
Because we often will self-medicate, right? Mm-hmm. We'll self-medicate and think that we're good. I'm ready for the next relationship until you get in it. Mm-hmm. Or we'll just completely ignore it. We'll know that we're going to come into it not trusting the person, and sometimes have the mentality of, I'm going to, they're going to have to earn my trust. And let's be honest, in truth, no one should come into a relationship in the negative position of not having your trust, because you shouldn't have gotten into a relationship at all if you walk into the door saying, this person's going to cheat on me, this person's going to steal my money, this person's going to beat me, this person is going to sleep with my best friend, this person's going to steal my car.
Well, let's talk about the other aspect of that, though, because there are people who do go into relationships knowing that they have baggage. So of course we're always transparent. We like to talk about things that are real, and it's real. So we had this issue. Like he said, he had some past indiscretions done to him. I've had some past indiscretions done to me. Mine came from a area of abuse. So me trusting, men in general was tough, but I knew I wanted to be married. I knew I wanted to remarry. It didn't turn me off from the fact of love and happiness and all of that, because I'm just a sucker for all the love stuff. I think family is so important. So it's not that necessarily I went into this marriage saying, oh, he just gonna have to deal with my issues. It's almost like you don't sometimes know it until you know it. It doesn't happen until it happens. So there were certain areas where I said, okay, I'm good. And mainly because this man is treating me different than the previous. So he's showing me different things. His consistency is just phenomenal. I will say that all day, every day. His consistency is phenomenal. And that's what did it for me. But it did not mean that once we got into the marriage, that there were little things that didn't creep up in my mind, and things that didn't come up from past hurts that were tacked on to him. And not necessarily that I thought that he would physically abuse me or cheat on me or whatever. It's just the residual trash and residual issues that were there that weren't resolved to the degree that they should have been, to healthy, to go into a new relationship in a mental healthy state. So let's talk about the fact that that does happen. It's not always that plus positive on there.
I think it happens most of the time.
It does happen.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that it doesn't happen. I'm saying his maturity is at a high level that most people don't have because most people
feel like they good.
Go on into the next relationship, and then they
realize
they unload on that person.
And it's not fair. It's not fair. There's no justification for it, to be honest. But then there comes that other person, and they have to say, okay, you know what? I realize this comes from a place that had nothing to do with me, but you yourself have some issues and things that you have to work out, and just be supportive of that. Not saying accept the issues, accept the behavior, or accept the abuse or the treatment. You don't accept it, but you have to have a level of understanding and patience with it. Because now you're saying, hey, I want to be there for you, first, so you can see I'm not them. And second, so you can be mentally and emotionally happy and stable for yourself. Because there's a person that came along and took that from you. So I want to be here to support you to get that back. That takes another level of patience, another level too. Hearn said, I knew I wanted to love. I knew I wanted love, but I didn't know if I wanted to be married again. My current wife and I have always been friends for years. That helps.
It does. And that thing about, like, so if you're that other person who's coming into a situation and then you start finding these things out, it's going to be frustrating. You're going to get irritated because you're not that person. When you do start recognizing, and you're going, and it depends upon who you're dealing with. You may be able to tell your spouse, "Hey, look, I'm not that person," and then they may recognize it right off the bat. Or you might have to go through the thickets in order to get them to realize it. Like some people who are alcoholics, you can just point out to them, have an intervention, and be like, "Look, you're an alcoholic," or just tell them, "You look at how much you drink, look at how much you're doing, look at what you're doing with your life," and they'd be like, "You know what? I am alcoholic," because admitting is the first step. But then you have that other person who's like, "I'm not alcoholic. I built this company. I work. I'm so good at this. I'm so good at that. There's no way it's affecting me." Like I literally grew up with functional drug addicts, right? Who you couldn't tell them that they had a problem. It was not listening to any of that. But so you have to have a mindset of understanding what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the person who just readily admits it is going to be a lot easier because now they can start getting help. If the person doesn't want to readily admit it, you got to take them to the point where they can finally come to that realization. I think that's probably where interventions came from. Right? Where people just didn't want to admit there was an issue, and then finally, like they have to get ganged up on. But you got to look at yourself. Some people don't have, and there's nothing wrong with a person who doesn't have the patience to do that. Right? So let's start there. Make that decision. Do you have the patience and the wherewithal to deal with it? And then even if you do have the patience, how much patience do you have? Because everybody's not Job.
Right.
Everybody's not Job. Because a lot of dudes would have kicked Job's wife to the curb. Right. It was special. But everybody's not Job. Everybody doesn't have like all this patience forever.
And there goes that again too. You don't know until you get there.
Right. Until you're in
it. Until you're in it, you may not know. So you can be the person on the other side saying, "Okay, I understand. I get it that you've gone through some things. It wasn't me, but I want to be here for you." And then they get to a point, like you said, of frustration, and it's like, "I'm tired of this. Like I'm getting tired of being blamed for what I, did not do. I'm getting tired of being on the other end of it." And they have to make a decision for themselves at that point.
Because once you're in it, that's when you find out. Once you're in it.
But to continue to take each other through hell is not fair. It's not fair. It's not productive, and it's not helping anything. So if you make the decision to say, I'm going to stay, come hell or high water, I know this is not going to be easy. Then if you speak that and you decide that, then that's what you got to do. I mean, nobody's perfect. It's not that you're not gonna sink back into certain things, but on at the end of the day, when all the smoke clears, because you're angry and you're frustrated and they're angry and frustrated, because don't think that the person that's dealing with the issues are angry and frustrated as well. Because my anger and frustration comes from the fact that somebody else took a chunk of joy from me. And now I got to work to get that back when I want to be as happy as I can, over the moon ecstatic with this man who has shown me so much positivity. And it's times that I can't. So my anger and frustration hits me where, dang, somebody else took that from me. And now I got to fight to get that back.
Now, I am going to say this is going to be a little, we still talk about this. We still have different thought processes on this. Now, like Baby said, when you first get into it, you think that you are a certain person. Like when we first started, I thought that I know I have a lot of patience. I know that. I thought that I had all the patience in the world, right? I thought I did. And so I made those exact statements. I'm with you through hell or high water, through thick or thin, as long as the creek don't rise. I'm with you. And I found out that they're not talking about water in that one. That's actually Creek Indians that they're talking about. But yeah, sidebar. So I like that was my mindset. That was my mindset because I just thought that was who I would be, right? But then I had to really evaluate, and then you start getting frustrated, you start getting tired, and I realized that no, there are caveats, and everybody has caveats whether they realize it or not. And for me, one of those things was if there's measurable improvements, and if there's actual work being done, then I have patience because I can hold on to the hope of the measurable improvements. But when you're with somebody and there are no measurable improvements, things are just staying relatively the same. When you take 2 steps forward and then you take 2 steps back, see, you can do 2 steps forward and 1 step back because at least you still 1 step forward. But when you're taking 2 steps forwards and 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 5 steps forward, 5 steps back, you have a good week, then you have a bad week. You have a good day, then you have a bad day. And there's no movement. I don't know if a person is in this world, in this physical human form, would have that much patience.
No.
Right? Because then you're just stagnant. And we know stagnant water attracts mosquitoes and insects and death. So we gotta, and nothing is not moving. Everything is either growing or it's dying. Nothing is never stagnant. Stagnation is an impossibility in the world, in the universe. Everything is either vibrating high or vibrating low. So if you are that person, stop saying that you ain't got no limitations, because you do. You're lying to yourself. And when you tell those lies to yourself and then tell those lies to your partner, they're going to expect you to uphold that truth that's really a lie. Right. And it is better for you to be honest and better for you to know it, because some of y'all don't know it, because I didn't know it at first. It's better to know it and speak it than to sit up there and keep lying about it, and then knowing that you are not that person. That there is a limit, that there is stipulations to it. And it's good for your personal. They may not like it. She don't like it. But it's a reality. And depending upon the person, it could encourage a person to do more, be more. Like the example I keep giving about the lady, she kept coming to me wanting to work out, wanting to lose weight for 3 years. I kept firing her butt. And it didn't matter what I did, you know, I couldn't create enough motivation for her to do it. I couldn't, get in there. She had been promising her kids that when they get tall enough, she would take them to Six Flags and ride all the rides. But it wasn't until she got on one of them rides and they told her she was too fat to ride that ride that it hit her, that it clicked. After that, she was in to win it. And all these years, she's still on my Facebook. She's maintained a good, healthy disposition, and it's because something pushed her to that point where she said, okay, this is a must-have now in my life, not it would be nice, or this is something I'm working towards. I would really like to have this. It became there is no plan B. I have to have this in my life. So if your mistrust is causing that situation, you have to, it works from both sides. This person is being patient. This person is working for you. They're doing things in their life to make it easier for you to understand and see that they're not that person. Recognize they have a limit. Don't think that nobody does, because I literally have had people tell me it was different situation, but they kept saying stupid stuff to me like, oh, things will get better when we're 40. And they telling you this when you're in your 20s. Oh, wait till I'm 40 and things will be better. But let's just stay stagnant from 25 to 40, because a study said, or they say, well, I'm just going to pray to God to make our relationship sweeter and make it better. And you're like, I need you to take some action steps.
Right.
Because that ain't enough.
Right.
So people will stay stagnant. They will stay there. And you have to make those decisions. But if you decide to stay stagnant, if you're the one that has issues, because I have issues too, but I recognize if I decide to stay stagnant, then I'm going to kill it. You understand? So I can't stay stagnant. You got to keep moving. And most people don't think deeply enough to realize that they got to keep moving forward. And if you don't do it for your relationship, do it for yourself, because you need it. Because if you don't trust, here's the thing. If you don't trust, it's beyond husband-wife thing.
Yep.
It's father-son, father-daughter, employer-employee, it's friend-to-friend, it's mother-daughter, mother-son, sister, brother, niece, with all them relationships you got. You are affecting, and in this case, you're affecting. Which one is sickness? Affecting or effect?
Affecting sickness.
Yeah. No, like if I give you a virus, I affected you, or I affected. Yeah, you're in. How about that? You just giving up. You passing along your virus. We're in a pandemic. You're just passing your virus from relationship to relationship to relationship, right? And that's it. So you're hurting everyone around you, and you're hurting yourself. So if you don't do it for anybody, be selfish and do it for yourself. Just for peace. Just for peace. When I finally got to that point, where I said, you know what? I can't control nobody. Somebody does something like that, all I can do is decide how I'm going to respond and not emotionally react. I'm going to decide how I'm going to emotionally respond. And from that moment in my life, at 23 years old, I have always had so much peace. Even when another person cheated on me after that, it hurt, it bothered me. I decided, do I want to be with this person or not? I decided no, and I had peace. And then the next person later, when I decided I want to date again, I didn't come into it saying, if she goes away on a business trip, she's going to cheat on me. Never even a thought in my head. It was just peace. And that's what you want. You want peace with yourself, your inner peace. Because if there's no inner peace, you ain't going to have any outer peace.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Right.
So this is for you more than it is for your mate. All right. So if you got that, I like that Mr. Hearns Pierre Luis got some therapy, because we both in therapy. We both in therapy, individual therapy, and we're gonna do couple therapy. We both in therapy.
Yeah.
Right? To get some things worked out. Even if we had these issues worked out, we would still be in therapy. Because guess what? I am not the same person I was when I was 23, when I was 27, when I was 33, when I was 43. You change constantly because you have an experience every day. Every day you have multiple experiences, and all those experiences make an impression as to who you are. 75% of who you are is environmental and experience. So you're constantly changing. So having therapy is good to be able to maintain a handle on how you're changing. Don't let the world change you. You changed your world. It's your universe.
Right.
You change it. You control this thing.
Karen says everyone needs therapy.
That's right.
I'm in therapy now to help improve myself.
Yeah, that's what's
because
up.
I heard the other day, John Legend and his wife go to therapy every once in a while. They have a time frame and then they go to therapy. And people, always think you going to therapy. What's wrong? There's a problem. But their response to that, what I read was, we go to therapy so nothing won't get wrong. So things won't become wrong. Things won't end up wrong. You have to, just like you go to the gym and exercise, like we were at the gym today. It's my first day back in months. But it's time to kick it in gear. But being back in the gym was like, okay, you working on your physical, so why not work on your mental? You don't wait till there's a problem. We shouldn't wait. People that you see in the gym that are grinding out, and every time you go, you see them. They are there because they're not sitting waiting to become obese or have health issues or whatever. But sometimes people wait until they have an issue, until the doctor says, okay, you're overweight. And if you don't lose weight, this is going to happen. So healthy people go to therapy, especially healthy people who are single and looking to be married. Healthy people who want to better their relationship because they want to become a parent.
Right.
They want to understand what it means to be a parent. So they learn these things and they get themselves ready.
And healthy people like, share, and subscribe to Marriage Monday. That's what healthy people do. Like, share, and subscribe to Marriage Monday.
Because they can give some input and help unhealthy people.
And look, coaching is good. Like, we are doing this in the coaching format, but it's also good to have an outlet. Y'all think this is about y'all. About us. It's about us, and it's about legacy. For all the YouTubing that I do, I've always said it's about the legacy of that. If I get in a car accident and die tomorrow, it ain't gonna happen. But let's say I did, but it ain't gonna happen. I know that my wife and my kids, my family, have a legacy of my information, of my knowledge, of the wisdom that's been imparted to me, and that they can always and forever have it at their grasp, right there. This is also for us, and we're sharing it with you guys. So that's why we always encourage you to comment. Like, Hearns Pierre Luis has helped us in his commentary. Yeah. Right. And I'm sure it helps him, and we appreciate you. Thank you. We appreciate you,
Kwame. Thanks for coming.
That's right. Then the rest of y'all who not popped on, popped off, ain't said nothing. Talk bad about you. But it's okay. Therapy is good. Coaching is good. Communicating is good. Coming out and just being able to.
It's Hearns,
I know, but I like the Pierre Luis.
Right, let me be how he says it.
I mean, je parle en français comme ci, comme ça. Nah, mais. Je parle français très mal. So,
I was laughing.
His name is I don't know. It's been a long time. But, trust is such a hard thing. We could probably, and we just dealt with like a couple of variations of it. How you deal with it, but all of it, no matter how you're dealing with trust, it is always going to come down to you having to recognize that both of y'all having to recognize where the problem is, what the problem is, and what's your end of it to fix, and getting to a point where you recognize that you can't control anybody except for yourself. So you got to be frozen. And
Let it go.
Exactly. You gotta let it go because you know you can't in the Hindu tradition, or if you study Tantra, they talk about breathing in the breath. That's prana, which is life energy, right? And if you're a Christian, they're talking about God breathe the breath of life into man. That's life energy, breathing in, right? Prana. But if you hold on to your breath and keep holding your breath and keep holding your breath and keep, then you have toxins that build up in your bloodstreams, in your lungs, and all that. And if you were able to hold your breath, if you consciously could do it, you would die, right? So your body automatically forces you to breathe out. That is called the nirvana. The prana is coming in, the nirvana is going out. Nirvana is in Sanskrit basically means heaven, right? So I want you to think about that. The Hindu people knew long time ago, about 7,000 years ago, that letting go of what you call life is where heaven actually is. So letting go of your idea of mistrust that created barricades in front of you that you thought were safety is actually killing you. And to let those go is life, true life. Letting go, frozen. Let it go, let it go. Oh. Yeah.
All right. Well, it is 10:05.
Yes.
Thank you all for being here, Hearns. Thank you for your input and sparring back and forth with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And Kwame as well. So next week, not sure what our topic is, but we will be here, God willing, next week.
God willing, and the creek don't rise. That's that saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at 9, at 9 next Monday. So join us there. And remember, you are all welcome, Hearns. You and the wife are welcome to the wedding.
That's right.
Go to tagteamwedding.com and RSVP and join us at the Georgia Aquarium on Saturday, February the 20th, 2021. We're going to have a great weekend.
What are you doing? Real quick while she's finishing up.
Yeah, Hearns, where are you? Where are you guys? Where do you guys live?
Let me some ice cream. You always got to remember, what do we always say? Why you're here.
Why are you here?
When you're in your relationship, always ask why you're here. When you're mad, irritated, pissed off at the person, why are you here? You know, and as long as you're giving yourself a good answer, that should help nullify things. So me and my wife got into an argument earlier today. So I'm gonna make her go upstairs and get naked, because when she's naked, I can't be mad. Can't be mad when you're naked. I was mad, came into the room, she was naked in the bathroom. I was like, I ain't mad no more. Anger gone. Get naked. All the anger gone. I took out my shirt, flexed in the mirror for it. You see I'm naked. I know she saw it.
I saw it.
Because she put on these little white pants that she know I like. Yeah, you thought I didn't see that, did you? I saw it. My bonus door just went upstairs talking some gross. She'll be all right. I saw it.
I said, look at her. Where you from?
Where you at? That's the only reason we prolong it, because we want to know where you are.
We trying to see where hers is from.
Yeah, not from where
you are now.
Yeah, because from people be from everywhere.
Right. Yeah. So where do you live now, Hearns? You and the wife?
Where you at?
We just like to see different places that people are that connect with us.
That's right. So we know how far you have to travel, so that you know that you can go to the tagteamwedding.com and see what it's the booking information.
Man, bad news, get naked.
Yep.
That's how I do it, her.
Bad news come real easier when you're naked. Like,
hers in NYC. What part? Wait a minute. What part?
I'm about to go get some ice cream.
What part, Hearns? You represent Brooklyn? Where you at?
Now I shouldn't ask the question. I'll be in the Bronx.
Brooklyn, where? Eastern.
You don't even remember that.
Hearns threw me. Eastern Parkway, New York Ave, Hearns. Where you at?
Eastern Parkway, New York Ave.
Where you at? I didn't even say it like that.
I not yet.
Oh. East Flatbush. Hers.
How big is Flatbush? Because this seems like every New York
Oh,
person.
Flatbush is
Is that like a 5 mile long road or something?
Flatbush is forever.
This thing must be. Because
Flatbush is
all y'all
forever.
live on Flatbush.
Flatbush is forever. I'm on New York. You lying? What? New York Avenue and what?
You know, like right now he's on New York.
Oh, he said. I mean, New York Avenue. New York. We lived on Eastern Parkway. Eastern Parkway is a parkway. It's the long stretch, and New York Avenue is, of course, the cross street where we live. So he East Flatbush. So okay.
I worked in y'all airports for 28 days between the two and left.
I'm gonna bring him to New York, Hearns. We have to take a real trip. My homegirls are there. My dad is there. My dad live on Avenue J. But
I just want to go to Wall Street.
Flatbush goes from one end of Brooklyn to the other.
Oh, so that's why everybody lives in.
Oh yeah, everybody can say Flatbush. Flatbush at some point. Yes. Okay, Hearns. I love it.
Oh,
yes. My girls are coming from Brooklyn for the wedding.
Yep. So we're gonna have
my
some Brooklyn
girlfriends, they're twins, Lisa and Teresa. We went to high school together. The Bush, that's right. We went to high school together. In Germany, no less. We met overseas in Germany.
So the point is,
and we've been friends forever. My sisters, but they live in Brooklyn. They'll be coming. My girl Shalonda, she in the Bronx. She coming too. These are all my bridesmaids. It's 8 of them, y'all.
So you won't be alone.
And 3 of them from New York.
If you and your wife come,
Flatbush Gardens. What?
So if you and your wife come, we will put you at the New York table.
So there's a New York table.
We'll put you at the New York table.
You know, my sister. Oh, I forgot about my sister.
Ooh,
my nephew. My nephew is in the wedding. Levi. So my sister and her husband. I'm not talking about Ariana. I'm talking about. See, you said her name wrong. I'm talking about Ayana. Ayana is in the Bronx.
Y'all heard me say
Ayana.
Ayana.
My people coming from yeah. And you didn't say Ayana. You said Ariana.
No.
So
Ariana.
Ariana's my niece.
Okay. See, that's the problem.
There's too many of them.
Same name.
All the 8. That's not the same name.
It's similar.
But anyway, Hearns, we would love it if you guys could make it. So I don't know if you're on our Facebook. I don't know. Did you come from Facebook or just here? But
tagteamwedding.com.
It's tagteamwedding.com. That's where you get all the details. Bring her to Crooklyn. Bring him to Crooklyn. I'm bringing him. We planning the trip.
I want to go.
Him and his brother.
We're gonna go to Niagara Falls.
We taking the trip. I'm bringing all of them.
Right, so I can go eat this pizza that they swear up and down is so good.
They country. Hers, he's so country.
And go have this.
He from Marietta, Georgia.
Marietta, that's right.
But Hers, get this. We gonna go Hers when we talking the whole boy. Oh, Juniors. Yeah, we gotta get him to Juniors.
It better be good.
But Hers,
I love cheesecake. And if it's bad, I'm gonna talk so bad about it.
He is a reggaeton fan to the heart. He loves reggae and calypso. He loves it. Afrobeat.
Afro soca.
He loves it. I don't know how. He's a country boy from Georgia.
That's because I'm a man of the world.
That's what it is. You're a
Renaissance man.
But all you play is reggae. So
that's all I play. It depends on the environment.
No, that's all
you with me all the time.
You ain't with me all the time. We gotta go make popcorn shop
on the way home.
Go in there, that's
all
in
the shop, yeah. But on the way home,
every day.
It's jazz, it's blues, it's rock.
Turns, go to tagteamwedding.com.
You know, some pop.
Check out the video. We got to go check out the video. I mean, and just see what happens. He needs to go to Carnival and get. Woo! It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Hearns, we'll see you next week.
Because I've been to a bunch of carnivals, and carnivals are fun. Just people party.
Oh, I've been. What carnival you been? Oh, you follow us on Facebook. Nice.
Okay, so I've been to the one in New Orleans. I've been to the one in London. I've been to
London. Okay.
The one in Mobile.
Mobile.
You will be surprised.
Mobile.
You will be surprised.
Carnival in Mobile.
The carnival in Mobile is actually better than the Caribbean carnival here in Atlanta.
Whatever.
I don't know why or how.
Whatever.
It's like everybody. I don't know how.
Mobile, look at my face.
I don't know how Mobile carnival turned out to be better, but I've been to the. I haven't been to
Hearns. You know I am too, right? You know I am too. My father's from Antigua. He said we have coconut, half peach, because my mom is from Georgia. Yeah, I figured with the name. You gotta be
hold on, bro.
Hey, your wife, Trini?
Hold on, bro. All right, y'all gotta come. When y'all come, you tell your wife if she don't know how to make no roti and bring it with her, we gonna have a problem.
Yeah, we gotta say Trinity's make the best roti.
She better have some roti with her.
All right, Hers, keep following us on Facebook. You and wife be on here next week. I don't know if she's there with you, but y'all join us next week.
Ship us some roti, bro.
And check out the website. We would love to meet you guys.
Cause our roti house down here closed down. The
The
one that you like.
house?
The one you like.
The one I like closed down. Hers is at work. We talking about February, Hers.
February, man.
Talking about Hers. It's February.
Time. Flights cheap now. Hotels is good too. We gotta go.
Yeah, just us and Hers. We got a new friend.
I know people gonna be like,
But who is Hers? That's our boy. What you mean?
see, if y'all come in, y'all might get this. But y'all being all quiet. Like,
all right.
Y'all doing silent Bob up here.
Good night, Hers. Doing this OT driving this bus. Okay. You on the bus, so be careful.
All right, be careful, y'all.
Be careful. Okay. He worked for MTA. All right. Okay, Hers. All right. Y'all have a good night. Love you guys, New York Marta.
Y'all have a great one.
All right. Be safe.
Remember why you're here.
Remember why you're here, even when they get on your nerves. Good night.
Good night.
Here.
Yeah,